Coming up next, we're gonna learn how to do entrelac in the rows. Each side of the borders will end up being perfectly flat, and if you want to fill in the tops you can with our border tutorial on being able to do that, but today is about concentrating on how to do the entrelac within a row. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to learn how to do entrelac within a row, and this time we're going to go back and forth instead of around in circles to make this concept. This is actually relatively simple to get with. The instructions are very intimidating and a little bit hard to follow. It's not because they're written tough or anything like that. It's just sometimes visualizing it is really difficult. So what I've done is that I've created this whole diagram for you to be able to see the concept in a diagram format. And basically what we're going to be doing is that we're going to start off with the chain that is gonna appear and like this. Originally it just ends up being completely horizontal, but then by the time we get the first row done it'll appear zigzag just like this. Now to get this concept, all the multiples are in sets of 10 and then we add 2 at the very end. So each set of 10 equals one box. So if you wanted to do any kind of customized sizes you can do that. We also have a free pattern available on Yarnspirations.com, and I'll provide a link in the more information for that particular pattern, and you can actually see the written instructions in order to follow, but today I'm gonna give you the key concepts. So if you want to do a customized size, it's very easy to do it. So you just got to chain in 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and you keep doing that, and at the very end of the chain you just add 2, and then what will happen is that you'll have all your boxes in the middle and you'll end up with 2 perfect half edges just like this for the ends. So you can see the concept is really easy to follow. But let me give you some more tips in order to help you before we get started. When I start you off with the chain, we're gonna be coming back and forth, and it's not gonna appear zigzag, it's gonna be completely horizontal. But when we start, what's gonna happen is that we're gonna start in making the triangle appear like this. Now when we're going to do it, it doesn't appear to be as organized as it does right now. It's only when the next rows come in that you start to see the concept actually starting to really materialize before your eyes. The boxes in the middle are just fine, they're easy to follow. So what happens on this one here is that we're doing an increased stitch for the sides of this one, and then on this one here we're doing a decrease. So I'll be showing you that in just a moment. So without further ado, you can use any size crochet hook or a yarn to be able to follow, but remember with Tunisian you always have to use a bigger Tunisian hook by up to 2 sizes. So you're gonna just look at the ball band, and I'm going to be using today the Bernat roving right here. So you go to look at the ball band, and it says to use a 6.5 millimeter or a size K crochet hook today. I'm going to want to make up 2 sizes bigger than that in order to do it. The tension on these things can be quite tight, and so Tunisian is generally very tight, so you have to increase your hook so that it will balance out properly. So let me create a slip knot to start just like this, and I want to insert my hook in, and remember that doesn't count as 1. So remember what I said is all the multiples are in sets of 10, and at the very end of the chain we add 2. So I'm only gonna do 3 multiples of 10 for this. So I could just count to 30, or I can just go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and continue to do that across, and I know I'll stay in balance. So that's the way I would do it. So I'm gonna do that. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, and do it again. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, and I'm gonna do it one more time because that's what I want, just for tutorial reasons. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So once I have that done, all I'm just going to do is add 2 more. So 1 and 2, and this will allow me to stay in balance for when I get started. So I'm going to take my time in getting started because I have to tell you that this is one of the most difficult patterns I've seen for me to be able to follow, and it's not because I'm stupid, or it's not because the pattern is hard. The visualization on this one is really tough and I was really struggling with it. So we're gonna come back a second chain from the hook, so 1 and 2, turn it over and get the back loop, and I'm gonna insert into there, yarn over, pull through, and I'm gonna single crochet as normal. Okay, so we're not doing any entrelac or any fancy stitches. That was just a single crochet. So now what we want to do is that we're going to start and build up so that we get bigger and bigger. So this is the very bottom of the diamond, if you can imagine. So do you see that there's 2 strings, one going in this way, one going this way. I want to slip my hook behind this one here. Okay, so the one right under my thumb, and come under, yarn over, pull up, and then go into the very next chain that's available, and yarn over and pull through. And now we have 3 loops on our hook. Simply yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, let's move along to your next one. So right now we're going, you can see that the vertical strand is there for the simple stitch. So we got the first one, the next one is right there, is right here. Do you see it? Right there. Okay, so you got your 3, and then you're going to the chain for 4. So each and every time we go back across, we're gonna have 1 extra loop. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we want to continue to do this again. So looking over, we're doing the simple stitch. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, we're coming into the side one here before going to the chain. Okay, there's your 4, and the 5th will be the chain itself. So we've just increased again another 1. So let's go back. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, and 2. And we want to keep doing this until we get 7 loops on our hook by the time we get back to the chain. So let's grab the first one, yarning over, next one, yarning over, next one, yarning over. Okay, we want the side one here, and then the chain. So how many loops is that? That is 6. So I still have one more time to go across before I complete this particular triangle. So yarn over, pull through 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So this will be the last time I come across this one. So coming again, simple stitch, Tunisian simple stitch. It's known in the pattern as TSS. Okay, don't forget the side one first, and then we go back to the chain. Okay, now we have 7. So that's the very last time we're going to move to go down the chain for this particular box. So we're just gonna yarn over, pull through 2, 2, and we do that all the way back, but we're not done. We're not done this box yet. We just got one more thing to do, and we have to bind off to get ourselves all the way back to this particular point here. So we're just gonna insert like we're doing a simple stitch, pull through and through. It's called the bind off. You wanna make sure that the tension on here is really loose, like not sloppy loose, but nice and loose. You have to get your hook back in there in a future time. So if you make it too tight, you're going to struggle to get your hook back in there. And you do all of them across, including this side one, and the very final one is the same stitch of the last row in the chain. Okay, so you don't move up a chain at that point, and there is your first triangle on the side. So let's begin our next box, and the rest of the boxes in the middle until we get to the other side are really easy to do. So let's begin. We're just going to simply just start collecting on the next chain and collecting the next 6 loops, and that'll give you a total of 7 loops on here. So you're just going into the chain as you normally would. So just look and stop when you have 7 loops on your hook. Okay, there's 6 and 7. So that means that box is complete. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we keep doing that all the way across. Okay, so let's start the next one again. So it's the first It's just a simple stitch, and we just continue to go into the vertical strands that you see. Okay, and as soon as you get to 6, just like so, the next, their 7th is the next chain that's available. So it's not here, it's go right back to the chain. Okay, so yarn over and pull through 2 and go all the way back. See how you're using that chain as also a side. So let's start again. So into the simple stitch again, all the way across. Okay, and so there's your 6th. The next one, the 7th, is the chain itself. Okay, yarn over and pull through 2, and we do that all the way back. Okay, do it again. So coming across, like so. Okay, and your 7th is the next chain. So I'm keeping an eye, I want to keep on an eye on the number of rows that I have. So yarn over and go through 2, and I'm gonna stop and take a quick inventory of counting. I want a total of 5 rows like we did before. So I can see by the number of strands going up, 1 2 3 4. So I still have to go over again, and I'm collecting. Okay, there's 6. The 7th is the chain itself. And then yarn over and pull through 2. So that was my 5th one there, so I have to do a bind off like I did before. Okay, so we're going to do a bind off like we did over here, and to do that, just insert into the first one, yarn over, pull through. Again, do not make this too tight for yourself, or you're gonna hate yourself after. It's not worth the fight, I'm telling you. So be a bit loosey-goosey, but not sloppy-woppy. So remember, the last bind off is the same stitch of the last one here, so we don't advance one chain at all. Just like that. So we continue to go across, and we are just going to continue to cross, so we collect the next 6 that are available to you. So there will be a total of 7 loops on the hook. Okay, so there's 6 and 7. Okay, so then yarn over, pull through 2. So I'm gonna speed up. If you've been following the entrelac videos, I've gone a little bit slower than the rest of them because the entrelac of what I'm doing right now is basically the same across the board. So there is 6, the next one is 7th, which is your chain. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2, go all the way back. Okay, start again. It's very much like a typewriter, it's just back and forth. Okay, yarn over, pull through, and that was to the next chain that was available, so you got your 7. Okay, yarn over, go through next. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2. So I want to take a quick inventory to see where I am. I think I got 4. 1 2 3 4. You know, over time with this entrelac is that you can just kind of visualize it and know exactly how many rows that you've done. But I always do physically count it just to make sure. Okay, and there's my 7th, and then pull through. So you're thinking to yourself, or you might be, or you should be thinking, Mikey, where's the rest of the chain? There's only a little bit left. Well, this is the whole point of this whole final square. So let's bind off. We have our 5 now in position, so we're gonna bind off the last one here. And we still have a half a triangle left. Unlike the first one that we started off with and we did the increase, this time we need to do a decrease as we go. And remember, the final bind off for this box is the same chain as the last row. So now we just got a little bit here left. What do we need to do? Okay, so for the final triangle on this side of the project, it's always going to be a decrease. So we have to collect the next 6 stitches that are available, which should be all of the remaining stitches that are left. Okay, so we're going to collect. Now I haven't actually counted how many stitches are left off camera, maybe I should have, but I'm hoping that it's only going to be 6 because that's what it should be. Because the one already on there, on the very beginning right here, already counts as one of them. So then there should be a total of 7. So there's 6 and one more is 7. Okay, so we're going to do a decrease each and every time. So what we're just going to do at this particular point is that we are going to pull through 2 and keep going that all the way back. Okay, so what's going to happen is that we're going to grow it up and this side is going to remain flat. So let's begin again. So we're going to grab the first one for a simple stitch, the second, and we're going to skip the very last one. Now just be conscientious of which one is the last one, because if you don't get the right one then it makes a huge difference. And technically right now, because there was 7 on the time that we were just already here, there should only be 6 now. So we just want to skip that very last one. So yarn over, pull through 2. Let's start again. So we just start off as normal, but we just make sure that we skip that very last one. And this time there should only be 4, or sorry, 5 left on there. So you see 5, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's do it again. So yarn over, pull through. This time there should only be 4 on here. Yarn over, pull through 2 and 2. Do it again. Yarn over, pull through there. Now there's only 3. Yarn over, pull through 2 and 2. Do it again. This one there should only be 2, and then just pull through and you're done, and just fasten off. So basically I'm gonna just pull a loop. So basically this is what the outside triangle looks like at this particular point. You have your middle triangles in the middle like so, and then here's your starting triangle on this side. And this makes a lot of sense when it comes to the future. So let me fasten this off, and I'm gonna grab another color and I'm gonna show you how to do the rows that are in between this. So we only have to do this increase on one side and decrease on the other every other row, and that's the kind of the beauty about this one itself. So I'm going to grab my next color and I'm gonna create a slip knot to start. Now if you followed me in the other tutorials that we had for entrelac, you will notice that I've always talked about the invisible L. This here is an L. Okay, do you see it? So this here is a flat edge on this side. Okay, so the next box is going to rest right completely on the inside. Let me show you another example here. So every other one, the box is going to be complete. So you can see here in the green. Okay, so here's the green. See how it's a half? The next one that we're going to be working on is this one here in the blue, and then the next row we're gonna come up and fill in the space. Okay, so if that's a good visualization, I don't know what it is. So let me show you how to do that. I'm grabbing up our Tunisian hook. We got our slip knot, insert. So what we want to do is that we want to go into the very top of the actual first stitch. Okay, and we're just going to wrap the yarn around. I tend to wrap both of them around when I go to join it. It just is a peace of mind for myself. It's up to you on how you want to do it. So the invisible L, we want to collect stitches down here and then work our boxes going up on this side. So how we do that is that we just simply just go down and just start picking up all of the stitches that are already there. There should be a total of 7 if you've done it right. So there is 4. Okay, this one's thick because I got the extra in there. It's 5, 6. Okay, and the 7th will be the actual join itself over here in the next box, and there's a total of 7 there. So yarn over and pull through 2, and I'm sorry about that one curling in front of your eyes there, but I'm yarning over and pulling it through 2 all the way back. So this is just a regular entrelac, just like we've showed on other tutorials. So we have to then work in the vertical strands. So just slipping behind the vertical strand, pulling up, and we get all of them going all the way across. there's a total of 6 always, and then the 7th is always the joining box. Okay, there is 6, and then the next one here is the joining box, so it's the next stitch up on the row on the next box. So there is 7. So yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, yarn over and just insert into the first one again, and we're working our boxes up. Okay, and there's 6. The 7th is the next joining box. So basically when all is said and done, these will all look like the boxes are on an angle. And again, I do apologize for this one folding. I have to hold it in a way that it's out of the way but not interfering with my stitch work. Okay, so we're just going into the verticals. Okay, so there should be 6 before we get to the next box. So just 6 and then joining it. So we want a total of 5 rows just like we did before. So we're always looking for 5 rows. So right now you can see that there's a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is gonna be the 5th. And then the 7th is in the next joining box, and you can see that we're almost to the same height as the other box. Okay, we're pretty close to it. So we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So to finish this off, it's a bind off just like we've done before, and we're just making sure it's nice and loose. Just like that. And then the final one, the final bind off is in the next one up on the next square. So just through and through, and that gets you ready for the next one. So you can see how we just filled that in. So you see the flat edge here, this one is on an angle, and now we're gonna go for another one. So let's begin again. So we're just going to collect the next 6, and remember the 7th one is always the joining one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The 7th is the joining one, which is the next box, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then just start again. So now that the curl is kind of under control, the curling is dictated based on the tension of the hook versus the yarn. So if you've got if you for example match the hook to the yarn as per the ball band, you end up with a really tight tension, and you'll have a very severe scroll to your project, and it's not fun to fight with. It's not fun at all, I have to say, and it's very hard to block it to get it to settle down once you do it. So you have to be conscientious that the Tunisian stitches that you do matter, because it's actually a tighter stitch than conventional crochet, therefore it will cause the roll. Also, because you are doing simple stitch, you're only working on the front side of the project and not the back, so it wants to pull the tension forward because all the work is on the front side. So we're just continuing to work across. We're just moving ourselves up the side of the box of the next one. Okay, there's 6, and then 7th is the next one, and I think I'm almost close to finishing this box just based on visual. I haven't counted it in my brain, so let's count that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we're just gonna bind off. Once you get your 5 in, bind off loosely, and keep moving along. So keep doing that all the way to the end of the line, and then fasten off at the end, and when we come back, remember when you do the final bind off, it has to be into the next square to start before you begin the next one. So do that all the way across. When we come back, I'm gonna show you one more time on how to do this section here, because the next one will be a half triangle. So every other row is gonna be full boxes, which are very easy to do, and then in the other rows you have to do the increase on one side and the decrease on the other, just like this. When you get to the end of the row, do not forget that you still have to bind off this final one to take it right back to the very beginning of the, right to the very end. And remember, the final bind off is then the top of your existing one over here, just like so. So now you're gonna wanna fasten that off, and we're gonna reset ourselves and get ourselves to do the half triangles once again. And this is a really easy concept. Just visualizing this in a particular pattern without diagrams is really tough. And so this is what we have at this particular point. So we have our flat edges, and then we have our boxes in the middle. So the next particular part in this series is that we're going to do the half triangles again, and then the boxes in the middle. So let's start off with the slip knot, and I'm going to start off right here in the base. So right exactly where this one is already attached in. Okay, I'm gonna peel that back. Right where this one is attached in is where I want to go to attach this new yarn. Okay, same spot. Okay, so I want to chain one first, and then I want to single crochet into the same stitch to get started. And now we're ready to begin. So what we have to do then at this particular point is that we come in just like we did before. We're gonna come into this particular strand right here, gonna yarn over and collect, and we're gonna come into the very next stitch that's available on this line, like so. So now you have 3. Yarn over and pull through 2 and 2. So we want to do the same concept. So get the first one, the next one is right here, this vertical strand, and then the next one is the actual join with the next block. So now you have 4. So yarn over, pull through 2. So you're looking for a total of 7 of these loops on the hook. So you get the first one, the next one, then the side one, and then the next one on the block. So there's 5. Yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, first one, next one, next one, side, and then the next block on the next one on the block. So there's 6. So that means I only have one more time to go across. So they get the first one, next one, next one, next one. Okay, the side. Okay, there's my 6, and the final one is on the block, which is your total of 7 loops. That means that this one is done. So just yarn over and pull through 2, and we want to do a bind off. Just like so. So just yarn over, pull through, just like we have already in the past. So the next rest of these blocks are the same as what you already know, just a matter of working yourself all the way down. Remember to get that final one of the side, and then just attach to the next one available on the block. And that is where your starting point is. And so basically, see my tension's a little tight. It's hard to get it in there. See, you'll pay the price for it. It's extra stress on your fingers, and it's not fun to fight with, especially if your yarn is not very flexible. So we start again, and this is a regular block. I'm hoping I didn't get too tight all across here. So I just come in across. I was a little tight, I think. So I'm struggling a bit. And I wanted to get a total of 7 on the hook. And remember, there's the 6, and the 7th is the next join, okay, for the next block. So we're gonna continue to do that. So I'm gonna leave this with you. I'm gonna come back and show you how to decrease one more time, and then you can have fun with this particular project on your own. So let's begin to do the final, and it's gonna be a half triangle. So we're going to go into the same space where we just slip stitched already. We're going to pick that one up, and it's always gonna be really tight, so you gotta just watch out for that. You gotta make sure your stitches are not too tight when you go in, because it always makes it a little bit more of a challenge. So you're gonna go into that stitch, plus you're going to go into the next 5 stitches, and so you'll have a total of 7 loops left on your hook by the time that you get all the way over there. Okay, so you have 6 and you got 1 more to go, just like so. So yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and continue to yarn over and pulling through 2 loops all the way back, and so that you end up with 1 loop on your hook, like so. So now you're going to start, and now this time you're not gonna go as far because you're gonna create a flat edge. So how we do that is that we pick up the first one again, and this time we're only gonna pick up enough so that there's 6 loops on your Afghan hook before there were 7. So you want to collect then just the first stitches like this. Okay, so now you only have 6. Okay, so you leave that last one alone, the edge stitch, and then just yarn over and pull through 2 all the way back. So let's begin again. We're gonna start in the first one, and this time we're gonna start 1 early again. So if last time we had only 6 on our hook, this time there will only be 5. Just like that. So then yarn over and pull through 2 all the way back. Okay, let's go forward again, pick them up. This time there will only be 4 on there, and you know, if you don't want to really count them, you just have to look where the edge is, and you can kind of see where to stop. Okay, you see that this is the next one here, so you want to stop because you want to keep that in line. So just yarn over and pulling it through 2 all the way back. Okay, going forward, this time there will only be 3. Yarn over, pull through 2 and 2, and then do the final one, so just into the first one. Okay, and then pull through 2 and you're done. And I've already cut my yarn off camera. So this is then the final triangle that you will see when you're doing the edge work, just like so. And this is what you end up with. So we have a border. So here's what it looks like at this particular point, but if you like the borders to be more flat, we have another tutorial on how to fill it in just like so, so it becomes a really beautiful edge. And that's not as per the pattern, but that's something that you can add for yourself. Until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. We'll see you.